All right, so reminder, homework notes. So reviewing from Tuesday's lesson. This was Tuesday's lesson, and we talked about selling pizza to raise money for a summer trip you're taking. What did this part of the graph represent? You were selling your pizzas for too much, too little, or the right amount? Too little, right? You weren't charging enough, and you were losing money, correct? Okay, what did that point right there represent? You broke even. What about that point right there? And over here I'm still losing money. Why am I losing money on this side? The price of the pizza, it was too much, correct? And what did this right here represent? Yep, the $2 represents what? The vertex, the maximum. Okay, so is all of this hill right here, is all of this bump, is all of that represent money you're making?
Yes.
It's all a good place to be. Where's the best place to be?
Right there.
Right there, because that's where you're going to make the most amount of money. So if you sold your pizzas for $1.50 because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to make more because it's cheaper. When you look at everything, the cost, the time of effort, and the work you're putting into it, you end up making money, but not as much. Does that make sense? Same thing here. If you think I'm going to charge $2.50 because if I charge a little bit more, I'm going to make a little bit more, but that just means less people are going to buy it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do we remember how to read the graph? And if you remember when we did this lesson, I told you guys back then we're going to come to a point where we actually do the word problems, and that's today. So here they are. We're going to look to see how to work with parabolas. Oh, what they're going to ask you, for example, in a question like this, they're going to say, what price would you charge your pizzas for to maximize your profit? What would that price be? $2. In this picture, $2. What is your maximum profit? And you would look over here at the corresponding Y value. So the most important piece on today's word problems is finding the what? Vertex. Because they're going to be asking you about max and min is always located at the vertex. Even when it's a minimum, it's still at the vertex. Questions? All right, let's read number 1. Steve's Boats Inc. has determined that the number of boats produced each day will yield a profit of, and this is our profit function, where X is the number of boats produced each day and P of X is the profit made each day. Okay, so what is going on here? What does X represent?
The amount of boats he sells to every day.
Okay, X is the number of boats. So if he sells 2 boats and he wants to know how much money he's going to make, what would he do with the 2? Plug it into X. If he sells 3 boats and he wants to know how much he's going to make, what would he do with the 3 to find out his profit? Plug it in for the X. Okay, this used to be the Y, but you guys know how to read functions, right? P of X is the function. What does the P represent? Profit. So I'm going to put a little ordered pair over here, and I'd like you to do the same. So this would be X is the number of boats. Bless you. Y, instead of Y, it's P of X, and you guys told me that P of X stood for the what? Profit. So do that on every single problem. It's going to help you answer some of your A, B, C's, or D's. Okay. How much profit is realized if 3 boats are made in a particular day? What are we going to do? What do we do with that 3? We talked about it earlier.
Plug into the X.
Plug it into the X. So take out your scientific calculators. Scientific calculators are easier to use. You can use baby ones if you'd like. If you don't have one, if you can come pick one up quickly or have someone pick one up for you. right, come on. You can look them up
I think
later.
I
Caleb.
know who you're talking about.
All right. So, P equals negative 25 parentheses minus 8 squared plus 970. I didn't write the x there because what am I going to put in the place of x? Where the x used to be, what am I going to put in that spot? No one knows? I heard some of you whisper it. Okay, so what do we plug in for x? 3. All right, how you plug this in your calculator is up to you. You can do 3 minus 5 and then square it and then times by negative 25 and then add 970. But can you plug this in your calculator exactly like you see it? Yes, and that's what's really nice. So you type in negative 25. Remember your negative key's at the bottom. Don't use your subtraction key for that. It'll give you an error. Okay, so you type in negative 25 plus or times 3 minus 8 close parentheses. Where's your x squared key? Where's your x squared key? On your calculator next to your... No one knows where your x squared key is at?
Oh, it's right next to the set.
Thank you. Squared. And then what's next? Plus 970? So how much does he make?
A lot.
345. And it may be in thousands. I didn't say that. Or no. All right. And I'm actually going to write this over here because I am going to have to graph this. So I want to leave that space over there for graphing. Okay. Number 2, I'm going to have you work out if 10 boats are made. Okay. What is assumed? If he makes more boats, if he sells more boats, he's going to make more money. Or I'm sorry. If 10 boats are made, he's going to make more money, yes or no?
I'm gonna guess.
Yes.
We're gonna see. Okay, plug it in. And again, the X represents not the number of boats sold, but the number of boats what? Produced. All right, so go ahead and plug it in. And what? Stop distracting him. Yes.
$870.
Oh, you have the answer. Okay, so what do we plug in here?
You plug in 10.
10.
Ooh. What? I think I did that right.
Okay,
What would you do?
so plug it in. Negative 25 parentheses 10 minus 8.
Yeah, you put 20.
I put what?
You put
0.25?
No, that's what you
it's
put.
negative
Oh, thank you. I was like, what? Where? Thank you very much before I got too far. Okay, I'll go again. Not point, negative. Better? Okay, 10 minus 8 parentheses squared plus 970. And what did we get? Okay, did we make more money?
Wait, what?
870. Okay. Any guesses at what
Oh.
is that going to be the most amount of money we can make? 870. Any thoughts? Could he make more? Is he going to make less? Is that the most he can make in a day? Not sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph this. I'm going to rewrite it over here on this side. P of x equals negative 25 parentheses x minus 8 quantity squared plus 970. And I'm going to first ask you, what is the vertex? Opposite of the inside, outside stays the same. What's the vertex?
negative 8.
What does the 8 represents? The number of boats he made. And what does the 970 represent? The amount of money he makes. All right, so let's make our axis. And it does ask us up here to label correct units on the axis So let's do this. X-axis was the number of boats produced. And the y-axis is the profit. Do you guys agree? Yes? Okay, I am not going to plot 970 points. So I'm just going to rough sketch it like over 8 up 970. We're going to say that that is 970, that this is 8. And which direction does this parabola open if it's negative?
Down.
Downward.
That's an inaccurate graph.
Deal with it.
Excuse.
All right. Okay, yeah, so I just went over 8 up 970, and Kayla pointed out it's inaccurate, it's not drawn to scale. We know that. I said I wasn't going to. That's the first thing I said. All right, what does this point there, the 8,970, represent? Is that the maximum or the minimum?
Maximum.
So that's the best he's going to do. So how many boats should he produce to maximize his profit?
8.
And what is his maximum profit?
970.
970. So if he makes 9 boats, would he maximize? No, he'd make money, but he's not going to maximize. Just like the 10 here. The 10 boats, he made money, but not as much. All right. Yes.
I actually tried it a different way. I plugged in, I plugged in different numbers for X as many times as I could to see if I could get a maximum, and I actually got 8.
Good. Good. All right, so he said he just plugged in numbers, a bunch of numbers as fast as he could to see which one was the highest, and you got the 8 giving you the highest of 970. All right, that is good, but you also want to know how to use this so that if you say you guessed the wrong one or if you don't have time to do all the guessing, you can get it from here. So let's answer the questions. How many boats should Steve produce to maximize his daily profit?
8.
8 or 970?
8.
8 boats. What is Steve's maximum daily profit?
$970.
970. Do you agree that the 8 and the 970 both come from the vertex? What do you have to do? Know where to put the 8, where to put the 970.
Can we just automatically look at the equation and know what is maximum?
Yes. Yes. I purposely didn't do it first, no, we did, because it did ask us to sketch it. That was the part here. Somewhere here it says
But
sketch.
we could automatically know his maximum.
Yes, yes.
Or even have test questions like that.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
Real question.
Let's do number 4. Yes.
Where did you get the 8?
Can anybody answer that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear his question to
And the
begin with.
equation.
This 8 right here,
Yeah.
or this 8 over here?
Yeah. That one.
This
Both,
one
I think.
came from this 8, and this 8 came from the vertex, which came from the opposite of the inside. And the outside stays the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're doing number 2 on your own later today or later this weekend. I am going to do number 4 with you.
Is number 3 homework then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do you guys want me to do 3?
Doesn't matter.
I'll do 3 instead because this one kind of breaks it up. This one does not. Okay. The annual profit for a company selling X items is given by this function where P is in thousands of dollars. What is the maximum profit that this company can expect in 1 year? What is the maximum profit? Okay. What does X stand for? That's the first thing you do. X stands for the number of what? Selling items. Making the items or selling the items? Selling X items. And Y, instead of Y we have P, and what does P stand for? Profit. Okay, is it pretty much the same setup as the last one? Similar. The other one was making
Yes.
boats, but this one is selling. Okay, so let's make our X and Y axis. This was number of items sold, and this is our profit. Okay, what is the vertex for this problem? Okay, I heard one person say 16,400. Would everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Because we take the what of the inside? Opposite, and the outside does what? Stays the same. Okay, so write 16 up 400. And is it opening up or down? Down. Okay, do we agree? There's your line of symmetry. Okay, what is this ordered pair right here? Is it a maximum or a minimum? And what's the ordered pair for that vertex? I wrote it already on the paper, and you can see from your graph. What is it? Okay, so let's quickly decide what stands for what. What does 16 stand for? So 16 items sold, and 400 stands for the what? The profit made. So let's read the question. What is the maximum profit that this company can expect in 1 year? Do I look at the 16 or the 400 if they're asking for profit? The 400. 400,000 dollars. Okay, so I will often have kids say, well, do I need to graph it? Yes, that was the first thing in the beginning that it said, and sketch. Okay, we're going to at least set up one more. 4, 5, or 6? 5. A ball is thrown vertically upward with an initial speed of 64 feet per second. Its height after t seconds is given by this function. Let's go ahead and graph it. Okay, I'm going to put the vertex right here. In words, what does t represent? It is thrown in the air with initial speed. Its height after t seconds is given. So what does t stand for?
The height. Wait.
Time. Do you see that? T is seconds, so I'm going to put time. What does the h stand for? Height. So can you understand what the graph is doing? You're throwing the ball up. It's going higher, 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 higher. Does it go up forever? No, eventually it comes down, 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 down. Can you see that parabola shape that's going on? Yes? Okay, so over time, as time goes on, it gets higher, then it comes back down. What's the vertex? Opposite, same. What is it? 264. Do you guys see that? Yes or no? Now, again, I am well aware this is not drawn to scale, but I'm just going to do it. 264. Okay. Yes.
On our graph, would it be time on the bottom?
Yes, let's label that. So time for the x, and what do I put for the y? Height. And they do ask you to label that as well, so make sure you label. Is this a maximum or a minimum? A maximum is that vertex is what? You can look at your graph, or you can look at this over here. 264. All right. How high does the ball go? How high is the ball at 4 seconds? How high does the ball go? This is its max height. Would I say 2 or 64? This is the height. Do you agree? The height is the y value. So 64 what? Feet? Yes. How high is the ball at 4 seconds? What do I do? Do I use the vertex, or do I have to plug 4 into my function? Plug it in. H equals negative 16 parentheses. What are we plugging in? 4 minus 2 quantity squared plus 64. Plug that in now. Looking at the graph, is it going to be higher or lower? Lower, because at 2 seconds is when it gets its maximum height. So 4 seconds later, it's going to be lower. Is it 0? 0 feet. So that means it hit the ground right there. Got it? The kids will often ask, can I just double that? Or can I just see, oh, double, I hit the ground? No, not necessarily. That does not always work that way. Any questions?